Guys, it is Splatterhouse versus the Terminator, the Monster versus the Machine. Matanza defends his championship against Cage, so tune in because you're not going to want to miss it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh man, this takes me back.
Are you ready?
Jimbo.
Are you ready? How awesome was this CD?
Man,
I love
takes me back to them early aughts.
Yes.
Woo!
I wonder how many backyarders use this for intro music.
Absolutely. Hell, backyarders, regular indie guys, I'm sure. Oh man.
Still use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember back in my day when I started wrestling, everyone was using Kid Rock or Linkin Park.
Oh really?
What about Rob Zombie's Dragula?
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of that.
Papa Roach.
Absolutely. Oh, of course. Papa Roach. Indie wrestling is where I first heard Last Resort.
Really?
It wasn't on the radio. It was when Johnny Dynamite.
I was like when Sick Nick Mondo came out.
Sure. Guys, welcome back to the Lucha Underground After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. We are talking Season 2, Episode 19, Judgment Day. Very, very fitting.
Very fitting.
My name is Ty Matthews. As always, y'all can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Ty Matthews PMA, as well as various other after shows. If you joined me for the very first episode of the American Ninja Warrior AfterBuzz, or at least this season, we might have done past seasons, but this is my first time on the American Ninja Warrior panel. So if you joined me, thank you very much. If you didn't, join me next week. But for now, as always, my lovely, talented co-host.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm excellent. What an episode of Lucha Underground. What a time to be a wrestling fan.
What a time. What a time.
What a time. Hi, I'm James Franck. You can follow me on Twitter at TheJimboSlice. That's TheeJimboslice. That's at TheJimboSlice with 2 E's. That's at TheJimboSlice. Without further ado, let's talk about this episode.
Let's get into it. I mean,
man.
this episode was lighter than most on kind of the backstage spookiness.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was a little, like, it was funny because we didn't open with a video.
Right.
We went into a match.
Yeah,
so then when we
usually
finally got our video and it was a little longer than normal, I was like, they were buying time to make this one longer.
Sure.
But when we get to that video, that was a great little
It's
vignette.
great stuff. It's great stuff. We start off with one-on-one action. Son of Havoc taking on Daga. Daga is quickly joining Killshot as one of my absolute favorites in the temple.
That's great.
We've talked about it a little before. His hybrid style is so different than anyone else on the roster right now. And he's like, to look at him, it's a little bit, playing a little bit vanilla, but I really, really dig his stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, and we'll get into it when we talk about the end of this match, but I think that's why they're giving him such an interesting sort of story. Such an odd kind of colorful character to pair him with.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe like he is so plain that they're like, well, spice him up a bit.
Sure, let's
give him a snake woman.
Let's have a snake latch onto his leg. I mean, why not? But I love this match. I love, normally when we see the unlikely trio in trios action, when we see Evilise, Son of Havoc, and Angelico, we see kind of this like new hybrid kind of Son of Havoc. In this match, in one-on-one action, we saw a lot.
Oh, it's the classics.
A lot of stuff, a lot of classics, a lot of stuff that is reminiscent of someone named Matt Cross. Could be no relation, who knows? But a lot of the classics.
Yeah, the stalling drop kick.
Yep.
The elbow off the ring post.
Off the ring post. That's OG right there.
That was like, oh man, it's like playing backyard wrestling.
Exactly, that's exactly right. We got to get Kevin Gill back on the show, talk some more about backyard wrestling. One of the most unique wrestling games around.
His cartwheel trip moonsault, and then it was great because he like goes for that. And Daga catches him in kind of like a back suplex and just uses his momentum, keeps him going backwards, and turns into a facebuster.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was cool.
Absolutely. I absolutely loved kind of the variation on the Tequila Sunrise that we got from Daga.
Oh, that was so awesome.
That was gorgeous.
Oh, I love that. I wrote that in my notes too. I was like, Tequila Sunrise?
Exactly. That's exactly. Did you put a question mark?
I put arm drag, roll through, Tequila Sunrise?
I put a question mark right there.
That was great.
Oh, same brand, guys.
Shout out to Conan.
Love K-Dog. Love K-Dog. R.I.P.
And then, like,
in the canon of the show.
Daga hit a gnarly haluva kick.
Yeah,
the sound on that was fully working overtime today.
Right, exactly.
And then we get the glimpse of Cobra Moon slither down the steps.
We got Cobra Moon. We get a little bit of furthering of the story between Daga and Cobra Moon. She goes for a distraction. Havoc pushes her out of the way. Big ol' Gamengiri from Daga. But it's not quite enough to put him away. We get an avalanche gourd buster, followed by one of the most beautiful angles of a shooting star press that I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, the jib camera shooting star press
that
is brilliant.
Camera angle was unreal.
So good. So good. And everything Son of Havoc does is just effortless. All his flying just so graceful and effortless. His handspring elbow, his shooting star, his moonsaults, and like you were saying in like past episode, like when tropes finally get acknowledged, like he went for a springboard double stomp and Daga knew he was going for it, so he moved.
Right.
You know, it's
right.
like, okay, people are picking up on this. And at one point, Daga like moves, rolls out of the ring, and I thought he was gonna do his fake out where he goes to dive, but he puts his arms up, and the rope catches him, and he goes back. But he just went straight suicide dive, knocked Daga into the front row, like, have a seat there, buddy.
And yeah, and speaking of that, I love that moment where he goes for that drop kick where he's hanging on the top rope but slides through the ropes. Daga moves and he uses that momentum to just come back and hit him on the rebound.
Such, like, is that all core strength right there?
It's got, man, right, exactly.
It's ridiculous. Like, he like freezes in midair, like, no, kick.
right. So yeah, from here, I'm interested to see where we're going with Cobra Moon and Daga. What exactly is drawing her to him? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely interested to see where.
Well, he's an attractive guy.
He's a good-looking guy. I mean, you know, what kind of snake woman wouldn't want to latch onto his leg?
A snake.
I'm a snake.
I love how he Son of Havoc gets the win, and then like she slithers in, kind of like wakes him up all creepily, and then when he sees it's her, he's like, ugh.
Right. Well,
like shoves her away.
I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I kept expecting her to attack him.
Oh,
you know,
really?
When they were kind of doing the face-off, like I kept expecting her to like bust out some sort of kick or something like that and kind of turn on him.
Do like a gnarly combo kick or like the bow down kick and your foot comes up from the back and like Scorpion kicks him.
Right. Yeah, Evilise uses that. I love that kick.
I just wrote Daga not feeling it.
He's not feeling it. Not feeling it. Oh, so good. If you don't listen to You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes, Not Feeling It is one of the best running jokes on that podcast. Pete Holmes
from MTV?
Formerly, no, that's Dave Holmes.
Okay.
Pete Holmes is formerly the voice of the E-Trade Baby. Had his own talk show on TBS briefly. But on his podcast he has Chris Walsh on, and they talk about this chicken that it used to be a big running joke about, and whenever you just weren't feeling something, you would just say, "Not feeling it." I'm not feeling that. Huh. Oh, so guys, check it out.
We gotta get that
Sorry
as a
for
button.
that tangent.
Daga is just like getting that.
Not feeling it. Let's go back to the heavy bag. See, the heavy bag, that's becoming one of those tropes.
Yeah. No more curls. We're on to heavy bag.
Exactly. Season 1 was curls. Season 2 is the heavy bag.
Oh man.
But
what does it say on the heavy bag? Like,
I don't know.
I should have wrote it down because I know it says like fight harder, or like something like one of those inspirational quotes.
It's a motivational heavy bag, of course. But we've got Rey Mysterio training on the heavy bag. We find out that Dragon Azteca Jr. has found Matanza's cell.
Oh man.
And he is out for vengeance.
I just picture like Pink Panther
sneaking around.
Did it. And he's just like creepy around the corner.
Sure. Well, I would have loved
slide
to see...
whistle.
I would have loved to see like the lead up to that. Like, what sort of clues did he follow?
What
to
other
find
crazy
cell?
shit did he find looking for the cell?
Exactly. You've got to think like there's so much weird shit in this temple. Like, what would he have seen on his way to finding the cell?
It's like the Crypt Keeper's house when, like, in the beginning when it goes down the steps and everything, you know? He just, like, pulls the wrong book on the bookcase.
Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, that's legitimately my favorite TV opening of all time. Yeah. It used to terrify me as a kid.
So good.
Like, the Crypt Keeper just in general scared me, but, like, even just, that POV shot flying through the house, that might as well be the temple.
I love how Azteca, like, calls him out, like, how would you know? You left, you know? Like you don't know what our bastard wants.
Rey Mysterio and the original Dragon Azteca hadn't spoken in years at the time of his untimely demise.
Yeah, and Rey's like, no.
Right.
The Matumbo finger wag.
No.
No.
I know. And now, I mean, that pulls me in even more into the story. Like, what happened between them that they didn't speak for years.
Very Kill Bill-esque.
Yeah, right. There you go. So, Dragon Azteca Jr. out for vengeance. He finds that cell. Of course, Puma joins the both of them.
This is so great. It was just like, it reminded me of The Room when he's just like, oh, hello, Mark.
You're my favorite
Hi,
customer.
Ray. Oh, hi, Ray.
Yeah, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
hi,
seriously,
Drago.
that's exactly what it was like. Oh, hi, Puma.
Oh my
Huh,
god.
you need to go. Men are talking here. And then, like, I love the growl effect.
I love that they throw those in whenever
It's so
Puma is
great.
like mad or glowering about something.
I wish he didn't talk. I wish he just growled.
We just
And we
need
just got subtitles for his
what we
growls.
need is a back and forth promo between just Puma sounds and just air guitar sounds.
Oh, wow.
That's what we need.
Oh, why were they not in this episode?
Right. We got
Why
some
were
good
they
stuff
not-
out of them though. But yeah, so Puma comes in. He's trying to get their mind off of this, whatever this little spat is, you know, off of Azteca's quest for vengeance, because they have a rematch for the trios titles tonight, one of 2 title matches. And it seems like there's dissension between all 3 of them.
Yeah.
But they finally get on the same page.
After one more hit of the... It was weird because it just, like, cut to him hitting the heavy bag just to cut to him hitting the heavy bag.
You just got to get one
I
more.
was like, what was the point of that? Because, like, it wasn't, like, hit the bag and then they left. It was, like, hit the bag and then they all looked at each other. And then they
and
left.
then they're all right. You make a good point.
Get one more out.
Get one more.
You good?
Get one more.
Okay, let's go.
Like the bag says.
Like, what is it? Oh, what's that movie with Nick Cage where he's like, Lowrider Donnie? Lowrider.
Oh, is that gone to 60 seconds?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like, hold on.
I'll never pass up a Nick Cage reference.
Oh, good stuff.
Now let's get into this trios rematch. We've got Johnny Mundo, PJ Black, and Jack Evans defending their newly won trios titles against Rey Mysterio, Dragon Azteca Jr., and Prince Puma.
I really wish we got more Bill and Ted.
Oh, of
I was
course.
so hoping for more Bill and Ted.
Of course. I am I'm hoping that there's more of that to come over the course of
I
this
really
season.
hope it's like Taya and Mundo are like, hey guys, we got you something special. And they hand them like guitar cases and they open them and there's nothing in there. It's just like fake air guitar. We got you this really...
It has the indentation of what the guitar would look like,
Exactly.
but it's an air guitar.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
It just has like Lucha Gringos on it.
So many things we fantasy book on this show that I just wish desperately
Let's
would,
get Chris back in
would
here.
happen. Exactly.
We know you guys are listeners.
We know you're watching. We need cases for these air guitars. But let's get into this match.
They came out with like 3 ninja headbands too.
I love it. Yeah, the bandanas, and they're all wearing the Mundo glasses.
Sunglasses. And then they try to keep them on the entire match.
Oh man, and Matt Stryker with the Super Colo reference.
Yes,
That
so
popped
good.
me. Absolutely.
Oh, I loved it.
Super Colo, guys, get well versed with your 90s WCW cruiserweight action if you're not already. Super Colo had sunglasses
Attached to the mask.
sewn into his lucha
With like
mask.
a backwards, was not a fedora,
Not-
but
but
like
like a-
a Newsies cap,
like a beret.
Yeah.
Is it a?
like whatever Sami Zayn
Tangle?
wears to the ring.
Yeah. It's
Like
got
one
a
of
weird
those
name.
hats backwards.
I know that. It's got a
with
weird name.
sunglasses.
There we go.
And
there
like,
we go.
I think he had one. I was gonna say, I think he had one sleeve too. Like for some reason, I don't know.
There was a lot of weird. He did have one sleeve, didn't he? That is a weird looking luchador.
I think I found my Halloween costume.
Absolutely, guys.
Oh, that's so great.
Let's make Super Colo trending.
Why isn't
Let's
he
get
in
him
the
trending.
temple?
Right, exactly.
Him and Ariel Star, they go way back.
Man, if WCW Cruiserweights, are we showing that? Can our wonderful viewers
It
see
is now being shown.
Yes.
Oh.
So if you're watching on
Soak
YouTube,
that in, guys.
now you see the magic of Super Colo and the sunglasses sewn into the lucha
He's
mask.
got 2 sleeves in that one. But yeah, think his hat stayed
Two,
on.
two sleeve me, bro.
Yeah, 2 sleeve me, bro.
Woo.
Bullhorns.
But in this trios match, I love right off the bat, huge tackle from PJ Black, just sends Rey Mysterio flying. Like, I love that they kind of keep hitting on the fact that PJ Black is way stronger than he looks.
Definitely.
You know? Like,
Ray was not taking it lightly though. He
Right.
came back with like some awesome Ranas.
Sure.
A nice, like, I love, he went for his kick and PJ like moves out of the way like, I knew you were gonna do that. And then he nails him with
Nails
one.
him.
It's like, got you the second
right,
time.
exactly. All right, I could smell your foot on that one. We get into the fouls, into the low blows right off the bat. And I love how they're revisiting the story of last week. Because last week, Mundo, Black, and Evans just went to town on the collective balls of Mysterio, Azteca, and Puma.
Yeah, it was like Dick Kick City.
And so now, it makes sense that the heels would might as well just distract the ref and go for that right off the bat. And I love that Vampiro and Matt Stryker kind of get into the science of how getting hit in the balls hurts, like how it increases in pain as time goes on.
It starts with just like ow, and then it becomes a stomach ache.
Exactly. I love watching guys in the ring that sell nut shots realistically, because like they'll get hit and they'll keep running the spot, and then about 6 or 7 seconds later they're starting to slow down and really kind of
They do the lean over breathe.
Exactly.
Although Willie Mack, Teddy Hart, Scorpio Sky.
oh man, one of my favorite stories.
Oh man, I loved how during this match when he goes for the kick, he like electric chair drop, like
just
taint
super
kick.
super taint kick. Like if the normal low blow is his level 1 special, this was like his level 3 like alpha special.
Yeah, like he like stole your special. Like he had 2 SmackDowns built up so he could steal your.
Oh
finisher.
man, speaking of stealing finishers, we will get to that. Elsewhere in the match, we've got a big old hot tag from Prince Puma, huge drop kick. Catches Johnny Mundo out of the air, followed by one of my favorite combinations, the Northern Lights, into that deadlift brainbuster.
So good.
Just absolutely gorgeous every time. We get some awesome teamwork from Azteca, Mysterio, and Puma hitting that huge triple drop kick in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Great.
When it's just 3 people just all kind of like coming together, hitting one
Das
target.
Boots?
It is Das Boots. What else? I love Jack Evans continues to be one of my favorite parts of the temple when he just yells, "This is gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen." Like I love just the hype of like just wait for this.
Yeah, and before that he's like, "Can any refs in here count to 3?" It's so bad.
But I love the trope in wrestling of just like calling something out as the absolute greatest thing, but then getting cut off before you can do it is one of my absolute favorites. I don't know how much you've seen of Kikutaro.
Oh yeah.
But Kikutaro one of his go-to spots is he'll grab the guy in a front face lock like he's going for a suplex, and he'll start yelling at the crowd, "Thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming out to the show. This is going to be my final move of the match." And he'll go on for like 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute straight. And he'll just keep talking. And the second he throws the arm over, the guy will reverse it and suplex him.
Oh,
and
wow.
it kills every single time.
Can't think. Not Kikutaro. Or no, wait. Is Kikutaro the one with the fat, puffy face?
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to be Eba-san.
Okay.
Now he's Kikutaro.
Okay. So he was at PWG recently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did like a lot of the same shit. It was so funny. Or like he'll get hit and he'll bump and he'll roll, and then he'll just like stay rolled on his head.
All right.
And like people wait, and then he'll roll back down. Like,
Kikutaro is one of my absolute favorite comedy wrestlers.
Was it Ichi? He has like the Ichi the Stalker. Is that his name?
Oh, it's Sakura Ichikawa.
Yeah. Okay. That was. I always get them confused.
Sure.
They both do that like funny comedy stuff.
I love it.
They're
Guys
so
like
completely different. They look totally different.
Right. But yeah, guys like Kikutaro, Kushinbo Kamen, really great Japanese comedy wrestlers. Back to the match, get a big old superplex to the outside.
On to everybody.
I mean, an awesome high spot. Whew. I remember, I think it was maybe 2012, it might have been, that era on Superstars where they kind of, I feel like they innovated that during that era. I could be wrong. It very well could have happened before that, but that was the first time I saw it. That was the era where it was like Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, the Usos, Tyson Kidd, and they were all just like exclusive to Superstars, but they were killing it.
Yeah. That was when like Superstars and Main Event were like the best shows to watch because all the matches were great.
When Main Event started, like when it was, the whole point was it's building to this one main event. And I remember it was Punk versus Sheamus was the main event of the first main event. And they had these video packages leading up to it. It was great stuff. Let's talk some more about Lucha Underground. Sorry for that tangent. We see, now we talked about storing up 2 finishers, stealing the finisher a la SmackDown. We see Jack Evans steal Prince Puma's 630 splash. Ooh. And I love that there's more than one person on this roster that can do that. Like, I feel like that's a story that definitely needs more depth to it, you know? Like, the fact that this move is something that you never, ever see in wrestling.
Yeah. But for some reason, 2 guys here can do it.
Yeah, exactly. There's not one but 2 guys that can do it. Like, that needs to be like a secret weapon or something.
Yeah. Like he stole his power.
Exactly. We see Jack Evans steal the 630, but of course Prince Puma is not kept down because that's Homeboy's own finisher. He ain't going to stay down to his own move. He's the master of that. we of course get to see the pizza DDT from Dragon Azteca, which just gets
So
more and more beautiful every time we see
Yeah.
it.
It seems more graceful and like
Exactly. Just it's like we said about Son of Havoc. It's just effortless.
Yeah, totally. And I love like Jack goes for like a handspring, Puma catches him, and then like just chucks him in the air and catches him again, and then chucks him in the air for the Benadryl.
Huge kick. Yeah.
And it's just like, man, this fool is so strong.
right.
Like you forget how strong he is.
That's kind of the MO of Lucha Underground stars, is this combination of agility and strength, which we'll definitely get into in our main event.
And then Taya gets involved.
Oh man, so the finish of the match, we see another foul behind the referee's back, and Prince Puma is just not having it. He's not having it. He's furious. He just decides, to hell with this match, I'm just gonna kick you in your dick. And that's what happens.
He looks right at the ref too, because Mundo's like taunting him, like,
of course.
What are you gonna do?
Yep.
The referee can see, and he's just like, I'm over it.
Right, exactly.
He's just like,
at this point,
I'm taking all I can, and I can't stand no more.
Right, exactly. Hits Johnny Mundo, big old kick below the bell. Marty Elias calls for the bell.
I didn't know if he was gonna call for the bell, because
It took a little bit, yeah.
I was like, Lucha Underground's kind of iffy with the rules.
Right,
Maybe he'll let this go and be like, okay, you get out of the ring.
One thing about Lucha Underground is that it really establishes that kind of theme of it's up to the referee's discretion.
Mm-hmm.
People forget sometimes that wrestling is theoretically supposed to be like any other combat sport, in which it's up to the referee's discretion to make these calls. You know, if someone does something that's illegal, they may not necessarily call for the bell.
You know, or you can get thrown over the top rope, and that's a DQ.
Right, exactly. Old school.
Or you stand on the rope too
NWA
long.
rules, yeah.
10 count on the top rope, you're out.
Right. So he draws the bell. Prince Puma's not done yet. Goes for a huge super kick.
He lays her
Mundo
out.
moves, and Taya gets clobbered.
And I love how Mundo's like, she's a woman. You just assaulted a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he's got a point. Because when the women are put in matches and we're expecting them to fight men in Lucha Underground,
Right.
it's like understood that like, no, she knows what she's getting into.
Yeah.
She's about to go fight a dude.
Right.
As opposed to when she's standing on the sidelines taunting and maybe asking for it, and then she just gets
you don't
super
expect
kick
her
to the grill.
to just get brained with a super kick.
Man.
Yeah.
But I was just like, my jaw dropped. I was just like, oh my god, he just super kicked her in the face.
right.
And I think this is the point where we see like that turn in Puma of just like,
Yeah.
like in every good guy, there's a little bit of bad.
Well,
you
it's
know?
like King. It's like King in the Tekken games.
Yeah.
He's becoming Armor Puma now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man.
But
He should have growled.
Exactly. I mean,
should've
hell,
threw a growl in.
King and Tekken he would growl the exact same way.
Yeah.
See, we're all tying it together.
So good.
And then so Cage would be like P-Jack. Let's talk some more about Tekken, guys. Tweet us. Let's go backstage after this match. Dragon Azteca, you know, we know that he knows the location of the cell, and he just straight up
He just rolls in there.
just walks up to it, and like Matanza is on the other side. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
This is this our Matanza cell lighting?
Yeah, because it's green.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, Azteca goes up, it looks like he's going for some sort of act of revenge, but someone that we haven't seen in a while, it seems like.
Lotus.
Black Lotus is back on the scene, and she says,
She had an answer for him real quick.
yeah, she's like, you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And of course, being a lying liar that lies, he's still believing her fibs and saying like, what, like, why are you stopping me?
Yeah.
He killed
your parents.
killed your parents. He killed my mentor. What are you doing?
And she's like, no, he didn't.
Right.
Dragon Azteca did.
Oh,
That's a lie.
that's a lie. You know.
I loved how like when they start getting into it and it like they're starting to fight and they like get physical, Matanza starts to just like breathe heavy.
Yeah.
Like legit like a beast in a cage about to get fed.
Oh, of
You know,
course.
like he is like pacing around and like and I was like, oh man, like he's like feeding time.
Right. Exactly.
It's like,
Someone.
this is not gonna be good.
Well,
Someone's
and-
gonna lose their head.
At one point, yeah, we see Dragon Azteca is almost kind of up against the cell as Bale was when he bit the dust.
I was just like, oh
Like,
no.
oh, that's a bad place to be.
This is not a good spot. This is not a good look for me.
Exactly.
But like, in all honesty, what was he gonna do? Like,
Right.
or you're just gonna walk in, unlock the cell, and be like, "Come
Yeah,
on, buddy, let's go."
What the hell are you gonna do that Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., and Mil Muertes couldn't do?
Even Katrina,
Right.
you know, and she's been dead for 198 years.
Right, exactly.
What were you thinking?
So we will see the continuation of this.
It would have been like Anchorman when he jumps in the bear cage, and he's like, "I highly regret this decision right now."
The second he jumps in. Exactly.
Why would you do that? You woke the bears.
Well, let's get into the Lucha Underground Championship match, our main event.
Lee.
The monster
God.
Matanza defending against the Machine Cage, who is cashing in his Gift of the Gods title 7 days after winning it. Oh, my favorite move scar.
Machine.
So good. And this, like we talked about last week, it's starting to become part of the temple. The Terminator claps the beat.
Yeah. They even referenced it.
They reference like the weird.
They called it the war drums.
Right, exactly.
They were like,
exactly.
"Oh, the sound of the war drums."
Uh-huh.
And I liked Stryker as Cage is coming out to the ring. He starts to give like Cage's backstory. He was trained by Chris Kanyon. He has done all of this.
Right.
And like he's got accolades, and now like kind of like he rebuilt himself into the Machine.
Oh man, yeah,
Cage,
interesting.
You know,
yeah.
like, and I was like, "Oh, that's great." Like,
I love it, yeah, because I love that characters in Lucha Underground, they can be literal, but they can also be extremely figurative and metaphorical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we know that Cage is just a human guy, but it's like you said, you know, he went from being a guy trained by Chris Kanyon and Norman Smiley.
Yeah.
Love the Norman Smiley ref. But yeah, he rebuilt himself in like this new prototype, basically.
totally.
But, and also the story of this match. See, this match, it's not just your typical Haas fight where they're just throwing blows at each other. These are two beasts that are also agile as shit.
Because they start that way.
Right.
It's like shoulder tackle, clothesline, and then Cage is like, "Okay, Quesadora, arm drag, freaking
Right.
flying head scissors."
Just straight up lucha. Yeah.
Like, what?
And Matt Stryker, he tells such a great story in that Cage knows that he can't match power with someone like Matanza.
Yeah.
So he's going to start busting out these other things.
Yeah.
You know, like
Why not use your agility and your speed?
Exactly. Like Matanza, he's agile, but he's on the more kind of technical side of things. He can throw suplexes. He can throw the occasional shooting star press, but he's not going to be throwing tilt-a-whirl head scissors or Quesadora arm drags.
And it works out in Cage's favor because who else could he do a top rope moonsault to the outside
Right, exactly.
and trust that
Who's gonna
when he
catch
lands
that?
on them, he's not going to crush them.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
Like, I was just like, holy shit. He's
But yeah.
breaking out. Talk about getting my shit in.
Exactly. So many good moments. Over the top plancha from Cage. What else? What else jumped out
Dude,
in
man.
this
German
match?
suplexes
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
had me scared. Like when the first one was delivered and Cage just stood.
Oh,
and then
man.
he gave it to Matanza. Matanza stood. I was like, this isn't gonna end very
So yeah,
well.
I was excited to talk about this spot because a lot of people are kind of soured on the idea of fighting spirit, but it makes so much sense not only in the temple but between these two characters. It reminded me a lot. One of kind of the weirdest spots that I've seen back in the days of RF video. I got an Ultimo Dragon best of tape, and there's a match between Ultimo and Shinjiro Otani where they're just tombstoning each other, and it's this exact spot where
Really?
just tombstone, get up, tombstone, get up, and they just keep trading them back and
Yeah,
forth.
because I love when he hit the first one, Matt Stryker, and he got up. Matt Stryker's like, Road Warrior Hawk-esque.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
okay. And then they went back and forth, and then Matanza finally hits the twist and nails him with the German.
Oh,
And
that
that
popped
wasn't
me,
even
yeah.
the ones on the outside.
Right.
On the outside, it was like German gut wrench.
Yeah,
Gut wrench.
Yeah,
It was
and
like
we saw
on the floor.
we saw those rolling gut wrenches on the floor.
It's like, you guys are crazy.
We saw a power bomb into the barricade from Cage. I mean, just really the only person that can manhandle Matanza like this. We saw the German suplexes going back and forth.
We saw 20 clotheslines that turned into Matanza being like, okay, well, I got a T-bone.
Right, exactly,
You know,
exactly.
it's like,
Clobbering in the
man.
corner, big ol' release T-bone.
Gnarly pump handle with a bridge.
Oh my god, and a delayed pump handle at that. Like just holding him in the air. I love one of my absolute favorite moments, and something that was so aesthetically pleasing was the visual of Cage going for the discus lariat.
Oh, and doing the
missing
two spins?
it and then just doing it again instantly.
Oh, that was so good.
It was so kind of weirdly beautiful to watch. Just that spin and then the impact.
Like
of
he
the
just kept
lariat.
his momentum going.
Exactly. Yeah, not even missing a beat.
Like in Ready to Rumble when the swinging the ladder.
Right. Exactly.
You shouldn't stand so close to the ring when there's a ladder match going on.
Oh man, one of my absolute favorite movies. Have you ever listened to the commentary track on that movie?
I should totally do that.
The Ready to Rumble commentary track is Johnny.
Oh wait, I have.
Johnny Hume and I talk about this all the time. It's one of my favorites because Amit Zappa is only in 5 minutes of that movie, but he's on the entirety of the commentary track.
Really?
And he makes it gold.
That's so good.
It's so good. But yeah, what else? We see a weird kind of like a picture perfect shooting star press from Matanza.
But he gets his knees.
That sort of turns into a headbutt.
Yeah.
Cage kind of gets the knees up. It was an interesting visual.
Yeah, I don't know why he would have went for that there.
I don't know. It was weird. It was almost like he's clubbing him and clubbing him and clubbing him.
I was just feeling it. I was in the moment.
He was feeling it. Sometimes you're just feeling it.
Sometimes you just feel it. You gotta break things.
And sometimes you're like Daga and you're not feeling it. Not feeling it. It all comes full circle. But
Can we talk about that amazing elbow drop?
Oh my god, that was so gorgeous.
Because I was trying to think like who it mostly was like, and I was like, okay, the Shawn Michaels, the Macho Man, the CM Punk, but someone used to turn when they would do elbows like that. Someone recently. I don't know if it was like
it reminded me a little bit of Zack Ryder's elbow drop,
Okay.
kind of. I don't know if he turns that way, but it reminded me a lot of that.
yeah, like someone recently I would see just like no matter where the guy was, they'd turn and hit an elbow.
Right.
Like a la like RVD 5-star frog splash.
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
Like, no matter where you are, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, no, it was a gorgeous visual.
Oh, so clean.
But I mean, we see so many false finishes traded between the two of them. Like this is really for as much as Pentagon or for as much as Mil Muertes versus Matanza was monster versus monster. This almost felt like I would have bought Cage beating him more than I would have bought Mil Muertes beating him. Like Cage is kind of one of the most protected guys on the roster right now. And so I think that made it all the more impressive when Matanza finally hits the Wrath of the Gods and it puts him away clean.
Because he countered it.
Right.
So it was just like, oh,
the way,
man.
and
like,
I love, it's such a weird, unique move that the way he can kind of just land on his feet out of it. When Cage first gets out of it. Was absolutely gorgeous. But you knew going in the only way that Cage would have won the title is with the Steiner screwdriver.
Oh man, yeah.
And just imagine, him doing that to Matanza.
Because he hits the F5,
right,
and that still doesn't work. So then he pulls the straps down.
Yeah,
well,
like,
we see
the outside in superplex from the middle. We see
Alabama Slam.
We see the Alabama Slam. I mean, we see a Liger Bomb at one point. I think from Matanza. I mean, just all sorts of power moves back and forth.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
Exactly, yeah. But no chance for him to bust out Weapon X or the Steiner screwdriver.
You know what's funny though is because like he pulls the straps down, and you hear Dario start saying stuff to Matanza, and I like listened as close as I could, but I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Interesting.
Because I was like, this is definitely the fire up.
Right.
And then he turns around and it's just like, whoop. Yeah. There's my finisher, and now it's over. So it was just like, oh man, what did he say? Right. Was it like, remember mother?
Right, exactly.
Remember mother.
There's got to be, some sort of a key word that just instantly like puts him into like...
It's like a switch.
Super mode, yeah, exactly. It's like an over the top, yeah. But Matanza hits the Wrath of the Gods 3 seconds later, and he retains the Lucha Underground Championship. And now, I mean, I imagine the medallions get redispersed.
What's next?
I don't know when that process begins anew. If there's a waiting period, I imagine there would be. Who knows?
Who knows?
But do we know anything that's happening next week?
No, I don't think we do.
Interesting.
Yeah,
they didn't. On that, I'm surprised that they didn't put anything at the end to sort of tag the show to lead us into next week. Are we going to see Black Lotus versus Dragon Azteca Jr.? Like what? Right,
exactly. Yeah, we only, as far as vignettes, we only got Rey, Azteca, and Puma with the heavy bag, and then Azteca and Black Lotus with the cell, and that was it. Like a shockingly light episode tonight.
Yeah, I expected something at the end, even if it was just a little like Katrina ghostly picture.
Oh, sure.
Or like wind blowing by.
Just like Haunted Mansion style.
Yeah,
the eyes
move. Something.
With that, let's get into some predictions, y'all.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, I don't think. Well, this doesn't put Cage totally at the bottom.
Okay.
But he's definitely not going to be battling Matanza again anytime soon.
Sure,
So I'm curious what's going to happen with him.
Yeah,
I
who
definitely
else?
think we'll see more with like Daga and Cobra Moon.
Right.
Maybe a match finally between them, or
So-
like a mixed match.
What do we think it is? If we're talking predictions, what do we think is going to be revealed as the thing that's drawing Cobra Moon to Daga?
I think she wants to eat him. Like she's a snake,
Interesting.
and like she wants to eat him, and then like she absorbs his powers and his.
But
skills.
why him?
Maybe.
Maybe she just legitimately just admires him as a wrestler.
Yeah, maybe she needs a little strong style.
There you
know?
go. There you go.
What if she thinks he's just a swell guy?
I mean, that could be the case. Just because she's a snake lady doesn't mean she doesn't like swell
A
fellas.
snake.
She's a slipper snake.
Flippers.
What else? What else? Yeah, do we think it's gonna be a while before we see Azteca and Black Lotus finally mix it up?
Yeah.
Dude, what if that's Ultima Lucha?
That very well could be.
And they
And-
put a stip on it.
Interesting.
I think next week we see more of like Azteca and Rey starting to separate.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because yeah, we're already getting kind of the dark side of Prince
Yeah,
Puma.
and I was just saying maybe that's like another thing is like Rey's like I can't be with you, like I'm a good guy.
Right.
That wasn't a good guy thing to do. And
Yeah.
Puma's like, well, sometimes good guys do bad things.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Prince Puma turn full on heel, but I think he'll be like the Punisher
Yeah.
of the temple. Like he'll go out for vengeance
It
and
was
not,
justified.
Yeah, exactly. He won't really care if it's by the book or
Yeah.
by the rules or not.
Man, so many things can happen because
Mm-hmm.
there's like you got to think, what's up with Marty the Moth?
Right?
What's up with Mariposa?
With
What's up with the
Mariposa?
Mac? What's up with Sexy Star?
What's up with Cisco, who is in jail now?
Yeah, my boy Cisco, you're not a rat, dude. Trust.
Locked up. Locked up.
Trust.
We need him on to tell a story.
Yeah.
We do. Cisco, let's get you in studio.
It's so great to have him come in with like a security guard that has to stand.
Shut up,
He's
that
all
was
in-
my idea.
He's all in cuffs and shit.
Oh man. Well, guys, remember to tweet us with your predictions. Let's figure this out. Fantasy booking
Somebody
at the temple.
tweeted me they think the boss man in the limo is Dario's dad
Ooh,
and Matanza's
interesting.
dad because neither of them have really like seen their dad, and that's probably someone they'd fear.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a great theory.
I could see that.
Who is it gonna be though? Like,
Right.
because that's my thing. Like, it's their dad, Danny Trejo.
I was just
playing
gonna
their
say
dad,
Danny
you know?
Trejo,
Like,
yeah.
Like, because then that's cool. Like someone was like, oh, Devo would be great. I'm like, Devo or Zeus would be fantastic.
pretty
But
awesome.
like, how's it tie in? Is it Big Rick's like twin brother? Or
Sure,
like,
sure.
What, how does it work?
With it's just the eye patch on the
know?
other eye.
Oh,
Right.
that's genius! I love it. That's so smart.
Real quick, we got West Nile 21 in chat asking who's going to be Matanza for the title. He's got money on Masquerita Sagrada.
Oh, man.
Well, Famous B is representing him.
oh, that would be
so-
phenomenal.
That would be the way to make Famous B.
Yeah. How
famous.
how could you not be famous?
Yeah, how much
after
more
that?
famous could you get after that, really?
Yeah. We also got an idea for a no mas match between Azteca and Lotus.
Oh, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I do like the idea of taking these unique stips and making them a part of the canon and of the universe, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be just those two people. Like, it's an established match type now.
Yeah.
So that when the eventual Lucha Underground game comes out,
Yeah.
you can scream
so
obscenities at your enemies.
Would love that game. E3 this year. It better be announced. We
Right.
also got Peg Junk. Dario's boss is going to roll through while all hell is breaking loose.
Interesting, okay.
Like Professor X in a wheelchair?
You know, come on.
You
Who
never
knows?
know. You never know. Could we maybe not see him until Ultima Lucha?
Like that's the thing is the madness is going to happen at Ultima Lucha, and he's going to come in to make it all right. Oh, what if it's like a police raid?
Oh, that's
And
gotta
the temple
happen.
ends with it just being vacated by the end of the season.
Oh my God, it's exactly. It reminds me of the Chikara storyline with the Teeter conglomerate.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It made me think of like Dust Till Dawn, where like it pans out at the end and you realize like, oh, this isn't a bar. This is really like a Mayan temple.
right,
It's just like-
exactly.
Like, oh, this isn't a drug house.
It definitely
This is like an Aztec
right.
battleground.
It definitely seems like like the titty twister from Dust Till Dawn would be like right around the corner from
Oh,
the
yeah.
temple. But yes,
They'd put it in there. They'd totally put it in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us talking episode 219. We'll be back right here, same time, at our brand new time, 8 p.m. Pacific, next week, talking episode 20. So we hope you'll join us then. But for now, Jimbo, where can they find you and where can they buy that little piece of merchandise?
You can buy the Young Bucks 2 Sweet Journey at highspots.com. It's got Lucha Underground stars like Brian Cage, Prince Puma, or someone like Ricochet. He's like the Paducah, Kentucky version of Prince Puma.
Similar body types.
Yeah, definitely. Find it at highspots.com. You can find me on Twitter at the Jimbo Slice. That's TheeJimboslice. That's at the Jimbo Slice with 2 E's. That's at the Jimbo Slice. Ty Matthews.
2 E's.
I will see you on American Grit tonight. What else you got going on?
Absolutely. Well, speaking of that, yeah, you can find me, first of all, you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Ty Matthews PMA, as well as various other after shows. As Jimbo said, I will be on the American Grit panel starting in just a little less than an hour from now. On Monday nights, I've got Monday Night Raw, Houdini and Doyle. Wednesday nights, I've got the brand new American Ninja Warrior panel. And yeah, Thursdays you can catch me right here and on American Grit. That's 5 shows a week that you can catch your boy. Also,
5 shows if you're nasty.
5 shows. There you go. I like it. On Saturdays, be sure to check me out on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, 4 p.m. KDOC locally if you're in LA, U2 America nationally, Patreon, Fight TV. Check those local listings and get some wrestling in your eyeballs. But for now, oh, and before that, remember, if you're on iTunes, download, rate, comment, review, subscribe, 5 stars if you're nasty, YouTube, thumbs up, comment, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram. Let's all talk about wrestling because we're all a big community. But with that being said, guys, until next week, Viva la Lucha!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.